Hello and welcome to Pratten Park and to Match of the Day, and of course the big match today between the two draw cards of the Northern Division, Sydney Olympic and Sydney Croatia. The last time these two teams met in the league was late last year when of course Sydney Olympic ran out winners 3-1. And two of the guys who played in that match are Wally on my left from Sydney Croatia and Kalantzis. Wally, you would not remember that game with much relish because that's the one that really robbed you of finishing on top of the title.
Yeah, that's right, Les. Well, this is our chance to get back at him today. We beat him in the Ampol Cup, but that's pre-season, so we don't take that in contention. We'd like to get back at him today. All
right, now you'll probably be marking young Chris here on my right, who's a pretty effervescent sort of player. You're looking for a busy afternoon?
Yeah, well, Chris is a natural left winger. He likes staying wide, which is going to make my job much harder. And he likes taking the fullback on, so we should have a good tussle.
All right, Chris, you scored in that game late last year in that 3-1 win. Do you expect a similar result today?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to try our hardest. We're all out for this game. We've made all good preparations for the game. Everyone's ready for the game. I hope we win.
What about being marked by this Socceroo on my left here?
Oh, well, I've been marked once against him in a friendly game a couple of weeks ago down at their ground, and it'll be a tough game. That's all I can say.
All right, we're looking forward to a good game. Best of luck to you, Chris, and to you, Wally. All the best today. Let's check the lineups now with our commentator, Mike Hill.
Well, thank you, Les. Good-sized crowd here at Pratten Park for what promises to be a sparkling encounter between two of the most attractive and attacking sides in the Northern Division of the Olympic Airways Soccer League. Well, they're the Sydney Olympic side coming out. Let's have a look at their lineup, and it shows just 3 changes from the side that won 1-0 in the Cup last week against Wollongong. Stuart Stevenson, the goal scorer last week, comes into the starting lineup. He was a substitute last week, as was the number 12, Vicente Estavillo. The player coming back, in fact, from injury is the number 2, Martyn Rogers. He comes into the side. The 2 players omitted, Simon Brandt and the young 17-year-old fullback, Manny Spanoudakis, who both moved to the substitutes bench. Well, Sydney Croatia last week had a week off. They weren't involved in the Cup. So, in fact, this is the same side that we saw 2 weeks ago on Match of the Day when they downed Leichhardt by 1-0. A couple of experienced players there to look out for. The number 11, Zarko Odzakov, and number 3, Graham Jennings, today playing against his old club. So, Sydney Olympic currently the leading side in the league. Chris Kalantzis, a scorer of a couple of goals so far this season in the league. And Gary Phillips, the Mr. Perpetual Motion in midfield. Certainly 2 players who have had a big influence on this Olympic side and now stands head of the Northern Division. Manus Lamond already scored for his new club since his $32,000 transfer from Canberra. Certainly he's had some sparkle up front to the Sydney Croatia side, who come into this match as equal league leaders. Wally, as we heard, today playing as fullback. Such a good midfielder for Sydney Croatia over the last couple of seasons, but of course he did play as a fullback for Australia in his debut. That was back in 1984 for the Socceroos against China in Peking. So Don Campbell, 43 years old, stock controller in Adelaide, one of the most experienced officials in Australia. So Sydney Olympic will kick off in this first half. Sydney Croatia have the advantage of quite a stiff breeze at their backs for the first 45-minute period. So Sydney Croatia have never beaten Sydney Olympic here at Pratten Park, or in an away fixture in the NSL. Olympic winning 2-0 back in 1984 with both goals from Jimmy Patikas, and as you heard, a 3-1 victory last year. Sydney Olympic in the all blue, prepared to get us underway. Kicking, as I said, from left to right. The game that really holds so much promise. So Gary Phillips again slotted into the left back position, a position vacated during the off-season by Graham Jennings, who today wears the number 3 shirt of the other team. So Phillips, long one forward, looking for Chris Kalantzis. Savor in there quickly, still Kalantzis, away from that challenge. Good forceful running from Chris Kalantzis, tries a shot, the offside flag was up against Stevenson. Soper came in with the shot. The offside flag was already up. It was safely saved by Steve Watson. So now Graham Jennings. First NSL appearance against his old club, giving that one away straight to Raskopoulos. Now Soper. Now Raskopoulos. Kalantzis is wide. Raskopoulos there playing that one behind Chris Kalantzis. Estavillo. Now Phillips. Always makes himself available, Gary Phillips. Now Kalantzis. Phillips had kept running. A good run from the fullback. Still Phillips doing well to keep that one in. Crossing that one in, looking for Soper. Safely there into the arms of Steve Watson. The Sydney Olympic starting off 2 good attacks.
Chris Kalantzis looking good early on, Mike.
That's a good sign for Olympic and also for this very big crowd. Rogers looking that one forward, looking for Soper. In the air that time by Kovacic. Now Jennings. And Kovacic. The serving player was Sydney, Croatia. Now Wally Savor. Kovacic. Sydney, Croatia quite content to slow the game down to their pace. Now Manny Lemond. Trying to play that one into the path of Rumora. Stevenson. Forward looking for Marshall Soper. And Jennings polices that one over the touchline for a throw-in. Jennings and Marshall Soper, great mates at Olympic today. Opponents, and they'll be marking each other. Now Kovacic. Looking for Jurin on that far side. Savor, beaten by Phillips. Now Stevenson. And now Kalantzis. Space on that far side. Kalantzis forward. Soper. Now Kalantzis. And just wide there from Chris Kalantzis. Good quick build-up, and Kalantzis had space on the far side. Savor had moved forward, and it all broke down. And then Kalantzis. Soper here just fails to get a touch. Denied there by the keeper. Kalantzis right-footed, and that wasn't too far wide.
Olympic looking good early on, and Chris Kalantzis really looks as though he could be the match winner today.
Throw in now for Olympic. This crowd starting to buzz with just 3 minutes gone. Now Mike Coady. Stuart Johnston. Shane Clinch was in there first, but gives it away to Mike Coady. Still Coady. Now Graham Arnold. Long searching ball, looking for Zjelko Jurin. Jurin away there from Phillips. Push the fullback, says referee Don Campbell. Action at both ends. Zjelko Jurin there, going past Gary Phillips. Referee Don Campbell said there was a push. Certainly a fend off there. Zjelko Jurin, scorer of 3 goals so far this season.
Looked very quick there and could cause Gary Phillips a few problems this afternoon.
It's a game, in fact, that's got so many potential match winners. Now Shane Clinch. Caught there by Stuart Johnston. Free kick for Sydney, Croatia. Rumora. Now Graham Jennings. Ante Rumora. Spreading it wide, looking for Wally Savor on the far side. Plus Kalantzis to come back. Hooks that one clear. Now Estavillo. Stevenson. Phillips. Estavillo. And now Raskopoulos. Raskopoulos. Goalkeeper there using his hands outside the penalty area. That'll be a yellow card. But really there, Steve Watson had very little option. Croatia there were exposed. Phillips played it forward. A first-time ball in there for Estavillo. Raskopoulos was on his way. Watson comes out, uses his hands outside the 18-yard box.
Well, Sydney Olympic have certainly opened up this Croatian defence in the first 10 minutes, and they're really looking as though they could create a few opportunities here. But
well, the player down being treated is Peter Raskopoulos.
Yeah, he did very well there, actually. Perhaps if he'd have extra yard of pace, he may have got him, but he was brave, and also the goalkeeper was Steve Watson.
So Raskopoulos back on his feet. The Olympic get a free kick just outside the penalty area. Sydney Croatia have pulled everybody back. In fact, 11 red shirts now in their own penalty area. So Estavillo curling that one in. Pushed away there by Watson. Keeper did well.
Yeah, certainly a good shot by Estavillo. They certainly seem to be good at these free kicks, these guys from Uruguay.
He curved that one around the wall. It was a fingertip save in the end by Steve Watson. He's able to scramble it away and concede the corner. So Raskopoulos to swing this one in. Dakos has gone forward. Hits it to the far post, looking for Coady. Away there by Graham Arnold. Now Estavillo. Trying to drive that one through the defenders. Now Kalantzis. Chipping that one in first time. Watson again takes that one. Not under too much pressure.
Well, this is the liveliest I've seen Sydney Olympic for the last few weeks. They certainly seem to be coming back into a bit of form, and I think it could cause problems for Croatia this afternoon.
As you'd remember, in the Ampol Cup pre-season semi-final, it was all Sydney Olympic, but it was Croatia who run out winners by 3-1. Such a patient side, Sydney Croatia. So they've got to soak up so much punishment and then break so quickly. And here's one of the players that can do it, Manny Lemond. That time beaten though by Martyn Rogers. Lemond again. Rumora. Taking that one forward. Phillips the player back. Dangerous back pass, but well collected there by Gary Meier.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting comparison this afternoon, Lemond and Kalantzis. Haven't seen that much of Lemond, but got a lot of credit for Kalantzis. I think he's been a good player over the last year or so.
Kalantzis again, playing that one first time. Gary Phillips, the player, coming forward. Play that one down the wing for Kalantzis. Catches the player on that far side. Which will result in a free kick.
Yeah, I think Don Campbell is a good choice for the game this afternoon. He's a very strict referee. He's very fair as well, and I think it's good to see interstate referees with big games like this.
Vedran Rozic was the player brought down. Back on his feet now. Free kick taken. Stuart Johnston. Straight to Graham Arnold. Arnold operating a lot deeper this season.
Interesting that, Mike. I heard you saying that previously, and surprising, really.
Raskopoulos tidying up after dispossessing Shane Clinch. So now Martyn Rogers. Missed the last couple of games through injury. Stevenson. Now Clinch. This is Manny Lemond. Lemond away there from Stevenson. Now Graham Arnold. Still Arnold. Down there by Coady, the referee waves play on. Estavillo. Now Raskopoulos. Player 1-2 with Chris Kalantzis. Rumora. Now Rozic. Kovacic. Spread that one wide, straight to Estavillo. Soper, the player caught offside. So Croatia there moved up quickly. Soper there a couple of yards offside.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting tussle between him and Rozic. He's a very good player, Rozic, and if Soper can get the better of him, then I think Olympic would win.
So an offside decision there against that man, Zjelko Jurin. So a free kick for Sydney Olympic. I suppose good though to see both sides, Alan, so committed to attack.
Yeah, it's a good game so far, and I think if they can keep this up, as you say, both teams committed to attack, it's going to be a great afternoon.
Now Stevenson, first time ball forward from Marshall Soper. Faced there by Rozic, still Soper. Challenged there by Graham Jennings. Still Soper. Twisting and turning. Eventually getting the cross in. Off the head there of Stevenson. Watson came out quickly. Good save take by the keeper. Although Stevenson seems to have been injured in the process.
Yeah, good cross there by Soper. He did well to hold things up and then get his cross in.
Johnston, straight to Kovacic. Stuart Stevenson back on his feet but limping. This is Kovacic. It's a return there from Zjelko Jurin. Kalantzis on the far side. It's possessed there by Zjelko Jurin, who'd come back. So a throw for Sydney Olympic. Coady. Raskopoulos. Away by Jennings on his far low, Stuart Johnston. Jennings again. Now Shane Clinch. Lamond. Struggling to bring that one under control. Man, it's Lamond. Now Martyn Rogers. Kane Rogers. Soper. Caught there by a wild kick from Graham Jennings. Again Soper. Estavillo. Now Stuart Johnston. Johnston. Awkward bouncing one for the keeper. And the ball goes out of play for a corner.
Yeah, Stevenson did well there. It was a long-range shot really, but caused a bit of difficulty for Watson there, and in the end he did well to just turn it round for a corner.
Stuart Johnston, who scored every league match this season. So close there to opening his account this afternoon. So a corner for Sydney Olympic. 12 minutes gone, still no score. Estavillo. Put forward there by Coady, away by Vedran Rozic. Now Zjelko Jurin. Popping up here on the left, playing that one forward first time. Martyn Rogers was the player back. Now Gary Phillips. Cool under pressure and all the way back to Gary Meier.
Yeah, I think he could have got his head up there. Graham Arnold was steaming down the right-hand side with oceans of room, and he didn't really see him.
So now Raskopoulos. Rozic. He's possessed there by Kalantzis. Stopped by Graham Jennings. Kalantzis there upends his former teammate Graham Jennings. So a free kick for Sydney, Croatia.
Yeah, Soper seems to be buzzing this afternoon as well. He's causing Graham Jennings quite a bit of trouble at the moment.
So Steve Watson already been called into action a couple of times this afternoon. Arnold winning that challenge in the air. Now Stuart Johnston. Came off the Sydney Croatia player.
Yeah, always seems to be busy, Stuart Johnston. I think he's an underrated player.
Stuart Johnston, of course, had spells with Marconi, with Melita. And Soper hooks that one inside. Now Rumora. This time ball forward. Zarko Odzakov, we haven't seen too much of him so far this afternoon. Way there from Gary Phillips, still Zarko Odzakov, hard and low. And the header from Shane Clinch is over the top.
Yeah, he's been very quiet, Odzakov, and yet that's just the type of thing that he does. He comes into the game in bursts and almost, well, got a good crossing and almost a goal for Croatia.
That one hard and low. The ricochets there, the ball goes loose. Shane Clinch with a header is over the top. So Martyn Rogers. Stevenson. Johnston. Estavillo. Kovacic just tidying up, simple ball out, straight to Graham Jennings. Risky one from Jennings though. Straight to Estavillo. Soper just fractionally offside.
Yeah, they look a lot more composed at the back, Olympic today with Martyn Rogers. I think he holds them together quite well.
Now Wally Savor. Jurin's made a run forward, still Wally Savor. Zjelko Jurin, the offside flag was up. Zjelko Jurin was the player caught offside, pleased with the referee Don Campbell. The linesman's flag on the far side.
Yeah, just fractionally offside, but nevertheless he took it well. Good to see players slot them in, even though they may be offside.
Zjelko Jurin denied his 4th goal of the season. Now Wally Savor. Way back to Steve Watson. So well organised at the backs in Croatia through their captain coach Vedran Rozic. Rumora's the player down.
I think he just got a knock in the face from a clash with Soper. Nothing vindictive in it though, it was just one of those things that happens in the game.
So Ante Rumora receiving treatment. Certainly this crowd here at Pratten Park building up nicely.
And I think enjoying it. It's been a lively start, and probably Olympic just had the edge, but nevertheless on the break Croatia's had their chances.
The game recommences with a drop ball. Now Stevenson forward for Soper, placed there by Jennings. Still Soper, stopped that time by Clinch. Late challenge from Soper. He'll get a yellow card for that. So the second yellow card. Soper was dispossessed there by a combination of Clinch and Jennings. And reacted against that man now receiving treatment, Clinch.
Yeah, Marshall got a little bit frustrated there. He lost the ball and then tried to get it back late, but these things happen in the game.
A very little attempt there to play the ball. Soper, such a controversial character. Clinch slowly getting to his feet. So the free kick taken there by Vedran Rozic. Raskopoulos. Soper in there before Rozic, still Soper. Stevenson. Now Phillips. Kalantzis is wide on the far side, still Gary Phillips. By Zarko and Odzakov. Free kick to Olympic. So Mike Coady's gone forward. Here's Kalantzis, floats this one in. Safely taken though by Steve Watson. Now Manny Lemon. Closely marked by that man Martyn Rogers.
Yeah, it's been fairly quiet at the moment. Martyn Rogers, as I said, seems to be steadying things down and not giving Lemon any room at all.
Now Arnold. Stopped there by Stuart Johnston. Now Arnold, scorer of 3 goals.
Yeah, seems to always be in the thick of things. Likes to get through a lot of work.
As does that man, Stuart Johnston. So Jennings with the throw. Now Coady, just hooking that one clear. Raskopoulos being held back by Ante Rumora. This free kick to be taken by Spyridakos. For Soper. And Jennings to that cross. Now Vedran Rozic. Trying to play that one through the middle. Spyridakos using his arms. So a free kick for Croatia. So Zarko Odzakov. Really test Gary Meier with this one from this distance.
Yeah, I think he's another one who's very dangerous at this in these situations.
So Sydney Olympic have pulled everybody back. Odzakov wanting the wall back a little bit further. So Spyridakos and Stuart Stevenson, the 2-man wall. Zarko Odzakov hitting that one hard and low. about a yard or so wide.
Yeah, not one of his better ones.
Odzakov, who scored once this season. Kept this one low, a couple of yards wide. Now Stevenson. Raskopoulos trying to release Kalantzis quickly. Wait there by Wally Savor. And his father is Estavillo. Now Kalantzis getting behind the defence. Kalantzis right across the face of goal. Nobody there with a touch. Now Coady. Way that time though by Vedran Rozic. But Chris Kalantzis there got behind the Croatia defence and caused all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I think if you're going to win championships though, Mike, you've got to stick those in. That's twice he's hammered the balls across the box and nobody got a touch to them.
So Chris Kalantzis so dangerous in this situation, getting behind the defence, driving that one hard and low, just needed a touch. Eventually Sydney Croatian getting away from the danger area. Now Soper. Now Stuart Stevenson. 2-on-2 situation for Sydney Olympic. Still Stevenson. And just wide there from Stuart Stevenson.
Yeah, did well to get a shot in. Not a lot of power behind it, and I think Steve Watson had it well covered, but good to see him turning and getting shots in there.
He came on last week as a substitute and scored the only goal. Tried the shot there, it wasn't too far wide.
I think he needs a goal to really get these Sydney Olympic fans behind him.
So Vedran Rozic. Long searching ball from Rozic. Such a deadly striker with that left foot. Strike that one through to perfection, just a bit too hard.
Yeah, he is a lovely striker of the ball, probably one of the best in Australia.
Now Raskopoulos. Stopped there by Rozic. Johnston. Trying to spread it wide, and Kalantzis, in fact, to come over here to the right. Now Wally Savor. Rumora. In fact, and then collecting the ball and then giving it away to Soper. Good interception that by Jennings. Now Stuart Johnston. Kalantzis just fails to keep it in.
Yeah, not a good pass by Stuart Johnston, but under pressure a little bit.
There's Lamont slipping. Rogers tidying up. Now Rogers forward. And his father is Graham Arnold. Zarko Odzakov on that far side with an acre of space. One across, way there by Martyn Rogers. Now Graham Arnold did well to keep that volley down. Graham Arnold was off target.
Terrific strike, and they're the ones that probably are going to pull it out for them.
So Martyn Rogers spells at Manchester United, Queen's Park Rangers and Reading. Will join an Olympic. Dacos. Now Kalantzis. Still Chris Kalantzis. Phillips in a lot of space on that far side. Phillips just missing that one in. Stevenson. Phillips, who kept running. Good cross in. Away there by Kovacic. Zarko Odzakov. And now Savor. See Croatia there playing themselves out of trouble well. It all breaks down this time. Raskopoulos. Trying to pick out Coady. Still Coady. On the far side.
Yeah, they seem really to be buzzing Olympic this afternoon. Every time Chris Kalantzis gets the ball, he seems to cause all sorts of trouble.
So Coady. Tony Dacos. Estavillo just touching that one forward. And Jennings popping up in the right back position. Zarko Odzakov. 25 minutes gone, still no score. Plenty of action in this match of the day from Pratten Park.
Yes, Olympic been on top really, and yet Croatia, just on the odd break, look as though they could snatch a goal.
Rozic, no pressure. Savor. Still Wally Savor. Closed down quickly there by Peter Raskopoulos.
Yeah, did very well.
Savor. Phillips there before Zjelko, Jurin. Yeah, Phillips there. Converted this season to a fullback. Playing well, although most experts still feel his best position is in midfield.
Yeah, Croatia seem to be looking to get things over the top there to use the speed of these front runners, Jurin and Lamond.
Now Kovacic. Way there from Stuart, Johnston, still Kovacic. Well, the dive there convinced referee Don Campbell to give the free kick.
Right on the spot, the referee. No hesitation in giving a free kick to Croatia.
So a free kick in a dangerous position. Yeah, for Zjelko. Jurin to try something, or Graham Arnold, who's lined up over the ball. And of course, Zarko Odzakov. So Arnold. That one screwed off the side of his boot. Finished up about 6 yards wide.
Yeah, long way out really. I think it's got to be struck absolutely sweetly if you're going to squeeze things in from there.
So Raskopoulos. Well there by Zarko Odzakov. Still Odzakov. Way there from Raskopoulos. Still Odzakov. Now Manny Lamond. Turned the wrong way. Still Lamond twisting and turning. And brought down. So a free kick now for Sydney, Croatia, just outside the Sydney Olympic penalty area.
Yeah, Zarko Odzakov there. That's when he looked at his best. On the ball, going forward, and created a chance for Lamond, who was trying to get into a scoring position, but just brought down outside the box.
So a free kick for Sydney, Croatia. The range is just about right for Zarko Odzakov.
Yeah, this is a better distance.
So Vedran Rozic has also come forward. Zarko Odzakov. Kill that one round the wall. Chain clinch now, Manny Lamond. The offside flag was up. Manny Lamond was the player caught offside.
Yeah, well, anything can happen in those situations. A ricochet off an Olympic defender and broke for a Sydney Croatia player, and the first one was beat down by the goalkeeper, and then Lamond was caught offside.
Kovacic beating Soper. Now Manny Lamond. Stopped there by Martyn Rogers. Stuart Johnston. Still Johnston. Upended that time by Marijan Kovacic.
Yeah, Croatia seem to be coming back into the game a little bit now. Olympic had their good spell in the first 20 minutes, haven't scored yet, and this is the danger time for them.
And Stuart Johnston back on his feet. Free kick taken. Estavillo. Estavillo, not too many options open for him at the moment. This is Martyn Rogers. Estavillo again, just hoisting that one forward. Raskopoulos. Still Peter Raskopoulos. Then he's won a corner. Croatian defenders there stopped, expecting Raskopoulos to be in an offside position.
They did well actually, shielded the ball very well to get into a position to be able to cross the ball, and just blocked off for a corner.
So problems now for that keeper, Steve Watson. Raskopoulos with the corner. Putting this one in. Now Dakos, Stevenson, away by Kovacic. Estavillo, still Estavillo, away by Odzakov. Phillips. Stevenson was the player caught offside. Croatia there coming out quickly.
Yeah, only slightly. I thought Gary Phillips did very well there. He bypassed the defence and just fractionally offside from Stuart Stevenson.
So 30 minutes gone, still no score. There's certainly plenty of action for this big crowd here at Pratten Park.
Yeah, they say no goals constitutes a dull game, but it certainly hasn't been dull this afternoon.
Now Shane Clinch, stopped there by Stuart Johnston. Throw for Sydney, Croatia. Graham Jennings. Good crossing, testing one for the keeper.
Yeah, first time Graham Jennings has really gone into attack and created havoc, really. One just beyond the reach of the keeper and nobody there to get on the end of it. But that's when he looks good, coming forward.
Soper. He's judging the bout. Shane Clinch tidying up. All the way back to Steve Watson. Now Graham Jennings. Lamond. Still Manus Lamond. Such a hard player to get off the ball, Manus Lamond. Eventually stopped by Stuart Johnston. Now Clinch. Kovacic.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't had as much room as Chris Kalantzis has when he's been receiving the ball.
Zarko Odzakov. Croatia trying to slow the game down to the pace that they want to play it. Now Kovacic. Getting that one in first time. Away there by Martyn Rogers, an important header. Two players were behind him. Now Shane Clinch. Pushing Stuart Johnston off the ball. Illegally, says referee Don Campbell.
Yeah, it's strange how Croatia are trying to hit one or two of these long balls, and yet the only player they've got up there at times is Manny Lamond, and Graham Arnold in midfield who could probably get onto things like that.
Soper winning that one well in the air now. Stuart Stevenson. Now Soper. Still Marshall Soper. Stopped there by Graham Arnold. And the corner is given. The linesman on this side. Rex Layton indicated a goal kick. Don Campbell pointed to the corner.
Yeah, I think the referee was right there. Soper did well to get into a position where he could cross the ball, but good defending by Croatia.
Vedran Rozic there shouting instructions to his defenders. Estavillo. He's floating that one in off the head there of Mike Coady.
Again, only Lamond up front.
Zarko Jurin, and Lamond had run into an offside position.
I think they're looking to cash in on Lamond's speed here by getting the ball over the top, but at the moment the defence playing very well for Olympic.
Don Campbell has seen something that he doesn't like. In fact, he's talking to Marijan Kovacic.
I think he must have got a knock on the nose. No, it's on the forehead.
So Kovacic is okay.
I think that must have been what he was arguing about the corner for. He must have been after a free kick for that incident.
Free kick taken. This one's posted forward, away there by Graham Arnold, back doing some defensive work. Still Arnold. The clearance out of play on the far side. Graham Arnold, really utility player this season. Popping up there as the last line of defence. And he gets through so much work during a game. A lot of it not appreciated by fans, but certainly appreciated by coaches and players. Estavillo trying to get on the end of that again. Graham Arnold was the player in there first. Now Zarko Odzakov. And playing it forward quickly, looking for Manus Lamond. Faced there by Martyn Rogers. Still Lamond. Quickly closed down by two players.
Yeah, he's never really got away from people yet.
Shane Clinch. The best of balls in. Good play there by Estavillo. Now Stuart Johnston. Stevenson. Stuart Stevenson, now Soper. Stevenson carries on. Throw goes to Olympic. Good play there though by Stuart Stevenson.
Yeah, a very good run by Stevenson there.
Estavillo. Now Johnston. Too close to the keeper. Away there by Rozic though. Rumora. Ball there seeming to hit his shoulder. That's appealing for a free kick. Now Zarko Odzakov. Slipping on the cricket pitch area at Pratten Park. Always awkward for players to adjust. Now Kalantzis. Stop there by Savor.
Yeah, good defending by Wally Savor. Again, trying to get Lemond in over the top.
Ball out of defence, that by Graham Arnold. Now Lemond. And now Zjelko Jurin. Olympic there, saved by the feet of Meier.
Yeah, first time he's really got away from Martyn Rogers, Manny's Lemond, and a neat little underweighted ball in there, and Jurin just got a touch in, but Meier blocking the shot.
In fact, Zjelko Jurin has to have been offside, so the free kick's been taken. So Stevenson, Johnston, now Stevenson again. Needs help. Still Stevenson. Away there by Kovacic. Only as far though as Coady. Raskopoulos. Zarko, Odzakov, Rozic. Now Shane Clinch. Both teams putting players under pressure quickly. Lemond. Off the foot there of Martyn Rogers. So Martyn Rogers showing no signs of the injury that kept him out for the last couple of weeks. Manny Lemond being quickly closed down. Away there by Stuart Stevenson. Rozic. Always seems to have so much time, Vedran Rozic.
Tremendous ball there. Beautifully weighted.
Straight to the feet there of Wally Savor. Now Zarko Odzakov. This is Graham Arnold just hooking that one inside. Zjelko Jurin. Rumora. Shot charged down. Cleared eventually by Martyn Rogers. Now Rozic. Now Savor. He's possessed there by Estavillo. Raskopoulos. Ball in possession. Now Zarko Odzakov. And now Manny Lemond. Unable to control it that time. Bounced favourably through there to Meier. Action switching from end to end. And this is Kalantzis. Now appearing on the right. Soper. Nice for Soper. Kalantzis there, just tripped by Ante Rumora. So free kick for Sydney Olympic. So Raskopoulos short for Estavillo.
Bit tight there. Croatia did well to bring it away, but
lost it this time. Estavillo again. Croatia playing the offside trap to absolute perfection.
yeah, beautifully marshalled by their coach at the back there.
Now Wally Savor. Zjelko Jurin. Savor, one hard and low. This is Manny Lemond trying to turn. Stopped there by Martyn Rogers. Good tackle from the fullback. Estavillo trying to switch defence into attack. Now Kovacic. Stuart Johnston. The way back to goal was blocked. And that one forward to his skipper, Peter Raskopoulos. And now Stuart Stevenson. He is onside. Still Stevenson. Far post ball looking for Kalantzis coming in. Kalantzis with the header and nobody there for Olympic. Vedran Rozic there was able to tidy up with no pressure whatsoever.
Brilliant header by Kalantzis. He really looks good when he hangs there for that far post ball.
Good
but
ball
again,
across by Stevenson.
Nobody on the end of his knock-in.
So now Manny Lemond. Play that one through for Jurin. Rogers was the player in the way. Now Estavillo. Wasted ball that straight to Kovacic. 5 minutes to go to half time. Dakos. So good at the back this season, Tony Dakos. Only played 3 matches last year through injury. To his brilliant best. Formerly displayed in Mexico in 1983 for the youth Socceroos. Now Kalantzis. Still Kalantzis. Away by Kovacic. Straight though to Kalantzis. Kalantzis! Trying to blast that one through the net. Yeah, much too wide and high.
Definitely a chance, but he made it himself. He crossed one ball, got a return from a header out from a Croatian defender, and did well to get in there to get a shot. But definitely a chance for Sydney Olympic. He's having a good game, Chris Kalantzis.
So Arnold again winning that challenge in the air. Estavillo. And Stuart Johnston just trying to touch that one forward. Overhitting it, the ball out of play. So a throw in for Sydney, Croatia. Jennings. Looking for Clinch, away there by Stuart Johnston. Now Marshall Soper. Now Stevenson. Still Stevenson. Soper's up there with him. Stevenson there trying to play it into the path of Marshall Soper. Not quite enough weight on that ball.
Yeah, Graham Jennings did very well defensively though. Could have crossed the line of the ball.
Zarko Odzakov. Soper in pursuit. A good challenge there from Marshall Soper, who came away with the ball. Now Raskopoulos. Stopped there by Jennings. Raskopoulos there catching Graham Jennings.
Yeah, lost the ball really, and then it was just a hopeful hanging a leg out. Well seen by the referee.
So a free kick again to Sydney, Croatia. Taken there by Rozic. Now Kovacic. Rumora. Now Kovacic. Kovacic again. Started off this move. And Zarko Odzakov there. He's possessed by Stuart Johnston. One though back by Graham Jennings. Now Clinch. Much too close to the keeper. Safely taken there by Gary Meier. And now Kalantzis. He's got some space on that far side. Still Kalantzis. Way there from Wally Savor. Oh, he's pulled down eventually. Free kick to Olympic on the far side. But Wally Savor there was beaten for pace.
Yeah, brilliant run by Kalantzis again.
Referee Don Campbell have a quick word with Wally Savor. Kalantzis there. Got past him once. Savor was not going to get past again. So a free kick to Olympic on the far side. Been taken by their skipper, Peter Raskopoulos. Holding this one in. Watson comes, takes it safely.
Yeah, quite a few of those free kicks have been far too close to the goalkeeper. Need to be coming out away from the keeper to cause a lot of trouble.
Zarko Odzakov. Zjelko Jurin. Still Jurin. Away there from Gary Phillips. Just failing to keep the ball in. Good run by the winger.
Yeah, very good run.
Zjelko Jurin, as we've seen, as Kalantzis do this afternoon, certainly caused problems when he gets behind the defence. He's taken Gary Phillips to the cleaners a couple of times. Just failing there to keep the ball in. Rumora. Zarko Odzakov. This is Wally Savor. Jurin again. Now watch now, the 45-minute period is up. We're playing stoppage time at the end of this first half.
And Croatia come into it a little bit more in the last quarter of an hour. After a really bright start by Olympic.
So there is the half-time whistle from our referee Don Campbell. An interesting and exciting first half, but no goals to report here at Pratten Park. The half-time scoreline is Sydney Olympic 0, Sydney Croatia 0. So let's cross now to Les Murray.
Well, there we are, a very exciting first half, 0-0 the half-time score. Thank you, Mike. And with me is Ron Corrie, the assistant coach at Croatia. Ron, very exciting first half, but neither team able to score.
No, both teams have gone close on a couple of occasions. I think probably Olympics had the better of the chances at the moment. But it's a good game for the spectator to watch. So as long as the game keeps going that way, and whoever scores first could be the winner here.
Anything you can put your finger on regarding why Olympic had slightly the better of the first half?
Yeah, we're slightly not doing our job correctly in midfield. We're giving them a lot too much room, and midfielders aren't competing as much as they should be. We've got to get in there and compete a lot more to win the ball in midfield, to get the football up front.
Now, I'm fascinated by the extent to which Graham Arnold is playing deep in midfield, which we have not seen him do, certainly not before the Apia game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well, it gives Graham a lot more room to move, because up front he's a very totally marked man, as you can understand, and you've got two good centre halves here in Coady and Dakos. Well, dropping Graham back gives him a little bit more room to move, and also he does provide excellent long balls down for Jurin and for Le Monde.
What do you think Vedran would be telling the lads now?
Oh, I think we've got to pick our game up a little bit. We've done quite well to still be 0-0, but we've got to pick up in the second half, especially a little bit more quicker to the ball, a little bit more purpose, a little bit more effort in the game.
Ron, thank you and good luck in the second half. Okay, you're watching Match of the Day, and after this break we'll return with the second half.
So welcome back to Pratten Park as the second half gets underway with Sydney Croatia, the red shirts, the white shorts, now kicking from left to right. No score at the end of the first 45-minute period. The game that's really been filled with incident and promise. And during that half-time break, Sydney Croatia have made one change, with David Rezo wearing the number 2 coming on. And we'll work out in the moment, by a process of elimination, the player who's gone off. So that's Graham Arnold forward. Now Graham Jennings. First time we've seen Jennings get forward and stopped there by Martyn Rogers. Challenge for one full-back on the other. Now Le Monde. Jennings, who stayed forward. Graham Jennings caught offside.
It was a bit quiet in the first half.
Joining me again for the second half is Alan Vest. Graham Jennings there pushing forward. I wonder if that's a tactical ploy.
Yeah, I think it was a bit quiet in the first half, Mike. He only got forward once, and they created a chance from it, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets forward a lot more this half.
Kalantzis off the head there of Stuart Stevenson. He knew very little about that one. It seems to have caught him in the face. Zarko Jurin, stopped there by Gary Phillips. Savor. That came off of Estavillo. And Zjelko Jurin. Pushed in the back by Gary Phillips. So a free kick for Sydney Croatia to be taken by Zjelko Jurin. One across. Dakos away, and the clash there between Dakos and Graham Arnold.
Yeah, bad clash by the looks of things. A good free kick. Curling away from the keeper, and that's caused the clash.
Now Rumora. Now Manis Le Monde. Still Le Monde. Stopped there by Stuart Johnston. And a free kick on the far side, and Graham Arnold there in some pain. A clash of heads between Graham Arnold and Tony Dakos. Both players receiving treatment. That looks really like a bad cut for Graham Arnold. Well, it happened in that last instant when the free kick came curling in.
Yeah, it was well away from the keeper, and they both went up, and obviously a bad clash of heads. It looks as though it's a bad cut for Graham Arnold.
Well, Graham Arnold going off for treatment. And one thinks that Sydney Croatia will try to get that stitch very quickly and get Arnold back on the park.
Tony Dakos looks okay.
Yeah, he's back on his feet. So Sydney Croatia at the moment down to 10 men. Now Estavillo. And now Marshall Soper. Started off with a fantastic pace, Soper. Seemed to die a little bit in the first half. Now Stevenson. Away that time by Vedran Rozic. Johnston. Away there by Savor. Only as far low as Mike Coady. Still Coady.
Oh, great run.
Good run by Mike Coady. Chipping that one across. Away by Graham Jennings.
Soper almost got to it. Lovely flighted ball by Coady. Great run, great cross.
So Zarko Odzakov. Shane Clinch, the player running through. Raskopoulos was the player back.
Yeah, Peter Raskopoulos showing a bit of speed there.
And Zarko Odzakov winning that challenge against Stuart Johnston. Still Zarko Odzakov. Dispossessed there by Martyn Rogers. And now Olympic in full flight. Kalantzis is available on this near touchline. This is Kalantzis, faced there by Savor. Still Kalantzis. Savor for a run. And the ball goes out of play.
Yeah, good run by Kalantzis. Closely marked by two players there. Beat one, but the other just come in and blocked him.
Now Estavillo. Estavillo again. Leaving it for Kalantzis and mix up the signals. Now Zjelko Jurin. Turn back there by Zjelko Jurin. Let's cross now to Les Murray on the sideline.
Ron Corrie, what's the story with Graham Arnold?
He's got a bad cash on the top of his forehead there. Just gone in, the doctor will stitch it up and get him back out.
So he'll keep playing?
Yeah, he'll be back on.
What's the story with your other player that went off?
Kovacic, he's got a broken nose from an elbow in the first half.
Bad luck there, Ron.
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
So now Manus Lamond. Zarko Odzakov. Intercepted there by Spyridakos.
Yeah, both Lamond and Jurin seem to be doing things from very deep and beating one man and then running into a lot of trouble. It'd be better, I think, if they could get their runs further upfield.
Here is Zjelko Jurin on that far touchline, playing that one in quickly. This is Manus Lamond. Tidied up by Gary Phillips. Wayward back pass from Phillips. Concedes an unnecessary corner.
Well, a little bit hasty by Phillips there, but at least it was well wide of the goal and no danger of a goal, but put them under a little bit of pressure.
So Sydney Croatia still down to 10 men with Graham Arnold off receiving treatment. Problems now for that keeper, Gary Meier. He'll be serving Sydney Olympic player. Seems to have been around for years, but he's only 30 years old. As he faces this corner. Now Lamond.
Yeah, Croatia seemed to have come out with a little bit more bite in the second half. Ron Corrie was saying that he felt that's where they lost it a little bit in the first half, that the midfield was not pressurising enough, but they seem to be doing it at the moment.
So Martyn Rogers. Now Estavillo. Just pressing that one forward. Graham Jennings there first. Now Shane Clinch.
Yeah, Jennings getting forward a lot more this half, and they're looking good when he does.
So you're in there, the player caught offside on the far side. Of course, Graham Jennings started his career as a left winger here at Sydney Olympic. He also represented Australia at youth international level on 7 occasions on the left wing. Converted back in about 1982 to a fullback. Of course, international honours came in 1983, his debut against England.
Yeah, there seem to be a few players do that, left-sided players. I know one in England who was very, very good was Terry Cooper, who started off as a left winger.
Now Raskopoulos trying the shot. Charge down, and now Wally Savor. Graham Arnold makes his way out from the tunnel. Now Dakos. Big cheers around Pratten Park for the appearance of Graham Arnold. Nice to see that that's from Olympic fans as well as Croatia fans. Now Kalantzis. Arnold back in play. Kalantzis there trying a cheeky shot, which goes just over the bar.
Yeah, not a good cross by Kalantzis there. I think he's a lot better if he can get to the line and drive things in as they did in the first half.
So Graham Arnold back in the thick of play. So Coady winning that challenge in the air. Now Rumora. It's Manny Lemond. Away that time from Gary Phillips.
Good tackle by Dakos.
Dakos there, clashing with Graham Arnold. Maybe 3 stitches in that wound. He still gets that ball forward to perfection. This is Manny Lemond floating this one in. And now Rezo. Pulled down there by Peter Raskopoulos. And that'll be a yellow card for the Olympic skipper.
Yeah, Croatia really looked to have the goods there. Manny Lemond, great turn, great run, and a good cross.
And Raskopoulos here catching the substitute, David Rezo. There's a yellow card and concedes the free kick in what could prove to be a dangerous position. Olympic have pulled everybody back with the exception of Chris Kalantzis.
And Croatia really started off brightly in this second half, a lot better than they did in the first half.
So Zjelko, Jurin, Zarko, Odzakov and Graham Arnold, the 3 players over the ball. I think it'll be Zarko, Odzakov to test that keeper, Gary Meier. Zarko, Odzakov, he bounds off the wall. Coady with the clearance. And his father is Rezo. Rezo making his debut this season after receiving an injury in the NSL Challenge Shield against Melbourne, Croatia in Melbourne. Back on the 16th of March. Now Raskopoulos. Lifting that one forward over the head there of Rozic. Recovered quickly. Made it back coolly to his keeper.
Yeah, reads the game tremendously well, Vedran Rozic. He never seems to be in any trouble at all.
Graham Arnold. Ante Rumora. Lifting that one forward, away by Gary Phillips. Zarko, Odzakov. Graham Arnold. Manny Lemond. Away from defenders for the first time. Still Lemond. Brought down there by Tony Dakos, and a penalty is given. Manny Lemond, the player upended by Tony Dakos, and referee Don Campbell had no hesitation and pointed straight to the spot.
Yeah, Manny Lemond giving Gary Phillips a torrid time now. He's beating him for pace, turned him well, and only Tony Dakos could just get a toe in and bring him down for a penalty.
A penalty for Sydney, Croatia. Be taken by Zjelko Jurin. Score of 3 goals this season, but he misses. There was the opportunity for his 4th goal, and he put it wide. Zjelko Jurin, such a deadly striker, has missed from the penalty spot.
Well, a real let-off for Olympic there.
Zjelko Jurin put that one well wide. So a free kick for Sydney, Croatia. Be taken by Wally.
They look a lot more enterprising though this half.
Now Rumora. Rezo just failing to keep that one in.
Simon Brandt warming up for Olympic.
So now Graham Arnold. Not feeling too inclined to head that ball, one can hardly blame him. 3 stitches for that wound. Didn't even have an anaesthetic.
No, he's a tough boy, is Graham Arnold.
Now Lemond. Zjelko Jurin. That penalty miss would have destroyed his confidence completely. Not the best of balls in. Zjelko Jurin, scorer of 3 goals this season. Now Gary Phillips. Tony Dakos, who gave away the penalty, would have been relieved to see it gone wide. Savor. Graham Arnold just tidying up and all the way back to Steve Watson. Sydney Olympic now wanting to make a substitution with Manuel Spanoudakis, the young 19-year-old who made his debut last week in the Cup.
Yeah,
preparing to come on for his league debut.
I would think they'll be having a look at keeping Le Monde under control. Be interesting to see who comes off. But he's certainly given Gary Phillips the run around a couple of times.
Spanoudakis, a very fast player. And now Gary Phillips. Kalantzis. Now Phillips. Gary Phillips there being held back. A free kick for Olympic.
Yeah, great ball by Chris Kalantzis. I thought Gary Phillips was a little bit late in trying to get his cross in and was well blocked, but in the end it was fouled by, I think it was Jurin.
So this free kick taken by Estavillo, off the head there of Rozic, and it also took a touch from a Sydney Olympic player, and a goal kick is given. So Sydney Olympic now wanting to make their substitution. And Spyridakos is the player to come off, a player who's taken a couple of hard knocks, and we believe he's suffering from double vision. So he's the player who's going to come off, and 19-year-old Spanoudakis is the player to come on. So Spyridakos, suffering from double vision, comes off, involved in a couple of hard knocks, led straight away to the dressing room. So Spanoudakis will go as a fullback. There's some reorganisation in the Sydney Olympic defence.
Yeah, Gary Phillips is limping fairly heavily as well.
So now Shane Clinch. So 15 minutes gone in the second half. Sydney Olympic 0, Sydney Croatia 0. Now Stevenson. Graham Arnold in pursuit. Stopped there by Ante Rumora. One through, stopped there by Spanoudakis.
So what's been a very clean game, we're getting a few casualties at the moment.
Now Phillips. Gary Phillips. Now Stuart Johnston getting behind the defence, and there's won a corner.
Well, it's certainly end-to-end. Croatia probably had the edge this half, but anything can happen. Both sides have created chances, and it's getting to look as though the first goal is going to be the winner.
So Estavillo to take this corner. The Olympic have pushed Mike Coady forward as this corner swings in. Coady goes for it, away there by Rumora. Helped on his way by Zarko Odzakov, and now Le Monde. It's Le Monde there. Losing out to Spanoudakis, who immediately has picked him up since he's come on as a substitute. Rizzo, caught late there by Mike Coady.
Yeah, Mike Coady getting through a lot of work as well at the moment. Been in the thick of things.
For the first time this afternoon, the sun has come out here at Pratten Park. And Sydney Croatia get a throw. Interesting what you said though, Alan. It's not been a vicious game, it's been a hard-fought game. It seems to be finishing up with a lot of injuries. Zjelko Jurin. Odzakov. Jurin. Away there from Rogers. Still Zjelko Jurin. Mike Coady was the rescuer for Sydney Olympic. Rogers there claiming he was pushed off the ball by that man Zjelko Jurin. He stopped. Jurin carried on, and some good covering play there by Mike Coady. Then you can see Rogers stops and appeals. Referee waves play on. Cody's the player coming across who concedes the corner. Taken there by Shane Clinch, away by Raskopoulos. Now Manny Le Monde. Free kick for Olympic for Manny Le Monde there, using his arms to control the ball. And this is Stuart Johnston. As Marshall Soper available on the far side. Who's been quiet for most of this match.
Again, beautifully read by Vedran Rozic. As I said, he never seems to cover a lot of ground, but he always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
There's Rozic now on the ball. Actually, he never seems to break a sweat through the whole game.
He certainly doesn't, but he never seems to give many balls away. He always seems to intercept when he's got to, and marshals the defence tremendously well, and a great asset to Croatia.
Steve Watson getting a good distance with that clearance. The wind here at Pratten Park is completely dropped now. Conditions ideal for soccer as Graham Arnold tries the shot. Good save by Gary Meier.
Brilliant play by Graham Arnold there. He looks like Geronimo, but he certainly turned well and got a great shot in there.
And well taken by Gary Meier. Ball was curling away. Now Raskopoulos lifting that one forward for Chris Kalantzis. Still Kalantzis. Stopped there by Wally Savor.
Yeah, Wally Savor did well there.
Rumora. Now Rizzo. Kalantzis in there quickly. Still Kalantzis, upended. Olympic there had the advantage, in fact, but referee Don Campbell had already blown. So a free kick for Olympic. Getting Don Campbell in quickly.
Yeah, a little bit of niggle on there, but I don't think there's anything in it.
So Raskopoulos. Just lifting this one forward. Off the head there of Vedran Rozic, and away for a corner. Well, Vedran Rozic there was put under a lot of pressure from Stuart Stevenson. Then from Chris Kalantzis. It was off his head. And away for a corner. So Estavillo with this corner for Olympic. Throwing this one in. Coady! And stopped on the line there by Graham Jennings.
Brilliant header. Good corner. Brilliant header. Brilliantly stopped by Graham Jennings on the line.
Well, Mike Coady hasn't scored too many goals. His last one, in fact, was back in May 1983 from a similar situation in our match of the day against St George.
Well, that was certainly worth one. He headed it beautifully. A copybook header, really. Got right over the ball, headed it down, did everything right.
Zjelko Jurin. Forward for Rizzo. Mike Coady's the player at the back now doing his defending work for Sydney Olympic. This is Shane Clinch. Just lifting that one in. Away there by Spanoudakis. And away this time by Estavillo. Just a long, hopeful ball upfield.
Yeah, it's relieved a little bit of pressure, but Croatia back in contention again and looking quite good.
There's Zarko Odzakov. Pushed off the ball there by Chris Kalantzis. Free kick for Sydney, Croatia. So Zarko Odzakov taking the free kick quickly and picking out Manny Marlon Rogers, the player across.
A little bit fortunate there, he panicked a little bit and came off the back of Manis Lemon to go for a goal kick. First time really Martyn Rogers has looked under any pressure as well.
And 21 minutes gone in this second half, still no score. Now Kalantzis. Wally Savor. Now Rozic.
Yeah, beautiful ball from Rozic again.
He's not available to play for New South Wales, is he, Alan?
I don't know, but he certainly looks the part. Beautiful 40-50 yard ball straight onto the toe of Manis Lemond, and who could barely control it, and it's gone out for a Croatia throw-in.
So this throw to be taken by Zarko Odzakov. Now Rizzo just hoisting that one in. Off the head there of Graham Arnold. Over the top from Shane Clinch. Shane Clinch, the player they bought at the start of the 1984 season from State League club Sutherland, was the player who got on the end of this. Hooked across there by Rizzo, off the head of Graham Arnold.
Yeah, I thought
Clinch hits it first time.
Yeah, Stuart Johnston, I thought, did very well there. He just probably put him off a fraction, which caused him to skite over the bar.
So Johnston. Stevenson, in fact, way there by Rozic. Now Mike Coady. Lifting that one forward, and Gary Phillips now operating more in midfield. Looking a lot better player for it. That came off of Graham Arnold. And Wally Savor keeps it in play. Now Kalantzis. Getting tackled out of it by Wally Savor. Zarko Odzakov.
Bit chancy. Marshall Soper almost got a touch in there.
So now Jennings. Vedran Rozic. Just about 22 minutes to go. Certainly Sydney Olympics need to see Marshall Soper starting the fire.
Again, Vedran Rozic, beautifully weighted ball to the front man's feet.
Rumora. Zjelko Jurin. Again looking for another penalty. This time referee Don Campbell weighs play on. And Mike Coady, the player, fouled. And a free kick for Sydney Olympic. Quickly taken. Estavillo. Zjelko Jurin there looking hard for the penalty. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Zjelko Jurin then caught offside as he made his way back to an umpire side position very slowly.
Yeah, a little bit slow getting back, and I think Manny could have been in there.
So Manny, who showed flashes of brilliance this afternoon, but he's been well marked for most of the match. By this man on the ball now, Martyn Rogers. Now Soper. On into the path of Gary Phillips. Zarko Odzakov was the player back. Now Chris Kalantzis. Still Kalantzis being forced away from the danger area and pushed in the back. Well spotted by referee Don Campbell.
Yeah, he's not had as much room in the second half. They've seemed to tighten up a lot more and have one man coming into cover.
Now Raskopoulos. Stuart Johnston. Now Stevenson trying to get on the loose ball. Watson was out quickly. Shane Clinch. Now Graham Jennings. Clinch again. Jennings makes a saute forward. Now Jennings. Rizzo. Graham Arnold. That one wide. A good ball, in fact, for Manny That came off of Manny. Yeah, goal kick is given.
Defender did well there. Only a young boy, and he defended very well.
So
Spanoudakis, NSL League appearance today. His debut. Made his debut last week, of course, in the Cup. So a throw on the far side. So Sydney Olympic. It's about 19 minutes left. So Martyn Rogers. Rogers, now Raskopoulos. Rogers, who kept running. Graham Arnold was the player back doing the defending and conceding the corner.
Yeah, he's all over the place, Graham Arnold. He's getting strikes in at one end and he's back there to try and save goals at the other end. Got through a tremendous amount of work this afternoon.
So a corner for Sydney Olympic. So Raskopoulos. Way by Rizzo. Estavillo spreading it wide. Raskopoulos, who was in an onside position. Still Raskopoulos floating this one in. Coady! Sydney Olympic there had 3 players unmarked, and one of them was Mike Coady.
Yeah, did well
Stuart
to get on the end of it.
was also there, and so was Kalantzis.
He's done well, Mike Coady, getting forward a couple of times. Good header from that corner that was kicked off the line, and then almost got one on target again. In fact, it's one of the best games I've seen him play this season.
So Steve Watson taking plenty of time over this goal kick. Actually gets it forward. Zarko Odzakov.
Yeah, been quiet really. Looks good going forward, but seems to have drifted out of the game a little bit.
Rumora. Vedran Rozic. That one away.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Unusual for him.
Now Estavillo. Phillips. Estavillo again. Trying to play that one through the middle. Stevenson. The offside flag was up.
Yeah, must have been fractionally there.
Eric Cohen's the linesman on the far side with the yellow flag. It really must have been a touch and go decision.
In fact, it looked a good run from Stuart Stevenson.
So a free kick now to Croatia on the far side. Johnston was the player involved for Olympic on that challenge with Zjelko Jurin. Interesting that the big name players that one expects to arise to the occasion, Marshall, Soper and Zarko, Odzakov, really haven't been seen too much of this afternoon.
No, they've been really quiet.
Now Rogers. Now Graham Arnold. Rogers again. Desperation challenge there. Raskopoulos. And now Gary Phillips.
Yeah, he's getting involved a lot more now, Gary Phillips.
Spyridakos is playing that one forward. This is Chris Kalantzis. And now Savor. Arnold. And now Manus Lemon getting behind the defence. This is where he's so dangerous. Still Manus Lemon. Faced there by Mike Coady. Lemon trying to beat Gary Meier at the near post. Tied it up there by Gary Phillips.
Yeah, Manus Lemon coming into things a lot better now. He's looked good on a couple of occasions in the second half and almost caused another goal there.
So Gary Meier doing well. Sydney Croatia have got a throw in. Ante Rumora. Now Wally Savor again. Just lifting it forward. The offside flag up. On Spanoudakis.
Yeah, Zjelko Jurin seems to get himself into offside positions quite frequently. Maybe it's because he's quick and wants to get forward, but
30 minutes gone in this second half. Sydney Olympic 0, Sydney Croatia 0. Away this time by Graham Jennings. Now Soper. Haven't seen too much of Marshall Soper this afternoon. He could do with some of his magic now to really set these Sydney Olympic fans alight. Now Lamond.
yeah, getting a lot more space now.
Lamond just playing that one inside. Nobody there for Sydney Croatia.
Not a good ball really from him, but he certainly looked the part in the second half.
Now Soper, faced there by Graham Jennings and stopped by Jennings. And Jennings again on that far side. Zjelko Jurin. Zarko Odzakov. Jennings has got an acre of space on that far side. Odzakov goes in instead. Zarko Odzakov, the cross was charged down. Breaks nicely though for Graham Jennings. Floating this one in. And off for Martyn Rogers for a corner. Didn't seem slow motion football there.
Yeah, it was a strange one, but Graham Jennings getting forward a lot more now, and Zarko Odzakov, he looks a lot more comfortable in the middle of the park rather than playing out wider.
Gary Meier awaits this corner. Swings across from Manus Lemond. Away there by Chris Kalantzis. This is Zarko Odzakov. Now Wally Savor. Savor. Far post ball. Shane Clinch misses his kick. There were 3 Croatia players on that far side, completely unmarked.
Yeah,
Shane
definite
Clinch
chance.
Miskicked.
Definite chance for Croatia. Good cross by Wally Savor, and as you say, three Croatia players at the far post. None of them could get a touch.
So now Gary Phillips. For Estavillo. Used to play for Pirol. Trying to spell it Phillips in Greece. Marshall Soper there bundled over. Throw goes to Sydney Olympic. Estavillo. Stopped there by Graham Arnold. Still Arnold. Releasing that ball early. This is Manus Lemond and Zjelko Jurin. Still Jurin. It's got Lemond available. Lemond and Gary Phillips is the player back for Olympic.
Yeah, I think they got themselves in a little bit of trouble there. Both players were wanting to go for the ball, and that caused them to just delay a little bit and let the defender get back and cover.
Zarko Odzakov.
It was a great ball though from Graham Arnold.
Zarko Odzakov. Estavillo is the player coming across. His clearance though goes straight to Ante Rumora.
Yeah, Croatia putting a little bit of pressure on now.
Rumora. Way by Estavillo again.
Olympics seem to be getting pushed back into their back third.
Sydney Olympic will make another substitution with Simon Brandt, the player now preparing to come on. Stevenson, Estavillo, lifting that one forward. Rozic, the player there for Sydney Croatia, reading the situation well. Ante Rumora. And now Lemon. Still Manny Lemon. Teasing the young fullback, Spanoudakis, who stuck to his task well. Now Shane Clinch, just lifting this one forward. Lemon was in an offside position. The referee waves play on. Sydney Olympic had the advantage. And Raskopoulos trying to switch defence into attack quickly.
Yeah, they seem to be wanting to play too much over the top, and Croatia are reading it a little bit, whereas Kalantzis, I think, wants one or two to feet occasionally.
So Simon Brandt waits to come on. Sydney Olympic substitute, the player they bought during the off-season from Newcastle. Martyn Rogers, putting that one forward. Over the head of Jennings. Rozic back heading it to the keeper. Soper coming through, the keeper was equal to it. Got there first. Now Rumora. Into Rumora.
Jennings forward again.
He's so dangerous. Zarko Odzakov. Croatia quite content to slow it down to their pace. This time Stuart Stevenson back helping his defenders. And now Phillips. Vedran Rozic polices that one back to his keeper. Rumora. Field player they brought from Zarko, but he's dispossessed there by Marshall Soper. Still Soper. Shot charge down there by Vedran Rozic. Gary Phillips with a shot. And that one goes over the top.
Vedran Rozic really giving a little bit of stick to Rumora there. Got caught in possession by Marshall Soper, who got a tremendous shot in that was blocked.
And then Gary Phillips picks up the loose ball, and that one goes much too high. And now the substitution can be made with Simon Brandt, the player to come on. Stuart Johnston is the player going off. Certainly Stuart Johnston is having an all-action match this afternoon. I'm sure he's done everything that his coach, Manfred Schaefer, wanted. And Simon Brandt.
Yeah, Simon Brandt came on in the second half in Newcastle a couple of weeks ago and really turned the game. He had a tremendous second half and really got the points for Olympic.
Rumora. Forward, Gary Meier quickly off his line, right on the edge of his 18-yard box. Rizzo using his hand to control that one. So a free kick for Sydney Olympic. Team starting to run out. Now watch, just about 8 minutes left. So Raskopoulos lifting that one forward, so getting behind the defenders. Doing well to keep that one in. Now Stevenson with the header. Kalantzis was the player caught offside.
Yeah, I think Marshall might have been better letting Kalantzis cross that with that lethal left peg.
So a free kick for Sydney Croatia.
Well, on the game so far, Olympic seem to have most of the play first half, but Croatia certainly come into it and it's anybody's game.
Manny Lemon. Stuck by the young fullback. Estavillo this time can bring it forward. Odzakov. Seems a lot more at home in the second half, operating in a central midfield role. Rumora. Arnold starting to control that. Estavillo. Now Martyn Rogers.
Still chasing though, Graham Arnold.
Soper. Play that one down the byline. Over hidden in and away for a goal kick. Marshall Soper has been strangely quiet for most of this match. There was
one little burst there where he really got on to the end of things, and but apart from that, as you say, a little bit quiet.
Soper again caught offside. Rozic takes the free kick quickly. Zjelko Jurin. Stevenson in the clash with Jennings on the far side. So full back recovered quickly. And Vedran Rozic was the player available. Now Jennings. And Arnold. Rumora. Ante Rumora. Jennings with a lot of space. Zjelko Jurin on that far touchline. Jurin came off from Martyn Rogers. Raskopoulos keeps it in play. The throw in on the far side. So Peter Raskopoulos, who really has led it Sydney Olympic this afternoon, for example, acting there as the last line of defence.
And it was Graham Arnold again for Sydney Croatia. He seems to be everywhere this half.
Manny Lemon. Still Lemon twisting and turning. Actually stopped by Martyn Rogers. Now Raskopoulos. Now Stevenson. Trying to play that one into the path of Gary Phillips. There by Zarko Odzakov. Away from Stevenson. Still Zarko Odzakov. Now Manny Lemon. Lemon. Now Graham Arnold. By Estavillo. And now Jennings. Rumora.
Under a little bit of pressure now, Sydney Olympic.
Meier again, he's playing as a central defender since Kovacic went off. Now Graham Arnold. He must have felt pain when he nodded that one down. A free kick this time to Sydney Olympic.
Croatia looked a lot better since Graham Jennings started going forward on the left. He's given them that little bit of width on the left and got a lot more space for the defenders at the back once they're in possession.
Estavillo there, the player brought down. Free kick's taken. And now Vedran Rozic. First time we've seen him come forward. Now Manny Lemon. Still Lemon. Into the final 4 minutes. Still no score. Lemon hitting that one forward and the offside flag up. That's Leighton, the linesman on this near touchline. Flag was up instantly. Now Brandt. This is Martyn Rogers. Allowed to run. Back opened up for him.
Both teams.
And now Gary Phillips. Phillips now Raskopoulos. Wide looking for Kalantzis. Well read there by Wally. And now Zarko Odzakov. Arnold. First time ball into the path there is Zjelko Jurin. Still Jurin chipping that one to the far post. Manny Lemon. Just over the top from Manny Lemon.
Graham Arnold in the thick of things though. Great ball out to Zjelko Jurin. Good cross and a really good volley by Manny Lemon just over the top.
Good cross this though. Lemon turning it too high. And certainly this big crowd here at Pratten Park this afternoon. Seeing an enthralling match. The only thing it has lacked is goals. Savor. Spyridakos there just receiving a little touch in the back from Zjelko Jurin. He knew he had done it. He thought he might have got away with it. The referee Don Campbell this afternoon has missed very little. Now Soper. Estavillo picking up the loose ball. Still Estavillo. Push that one through.
Yeah, both
goes
sides
on to play for a goal kick.
Yeah, both sides pressing forward now. It's end to end, and with just minutes to go, it's anybody's game still.
As part of this big crowd here at Pratten Park, as a lot of the fans now make their way towards the exits. At this stage, it doesn't seem as if Sydney Olympic will celebrate the Greek Easter with a win. 90 seconds left on our watch. Now Gary Phillips. Again by Rumora. Odzakov gives that one away. Now Gary Phillips. Handball there by Wally. Free kick to Sydney Olympic.
Could it be the last chance for Olympic?
So Raskopoulos with this free kick. Thrown it to the far post. And Watson there touches it away for a corner. So a grandstand finish now by Sydney Olympic, and more pressure for that man, Steve Watson. Estavillo, the player who's gone across to take it. Mike Coady's up there. Zjelko Jurin is back helping his defenders. And his corner comes in. Everybody comes and misses it. And now Manis Lamond. Now Zjelko Jurin. Sydney Croatia now on the break. Graham Arnold leading the charge.
Not a good ball.
Balls. So Gary Meier, as the final whistle goes, an interesting match. You can see no goals, but plenty of action from both ends. Good competitive display from two teams who were committed to open and attacking soccer. And Alan Vest, that's nice to see.
Yeah, even though it was a 0-0 draw, it was one of the best games of the season, end to end. Plenty of chances, and probably a draw was a fair result in the end.
And a word of praise for referee Don Campbell, who controlled this game absolutely perfectly, gave it every chance to flow. A few injuries, but certainly nothing vicious in this match. An entertaining encounter with the final scoreline of Sydney Olympic 0, Sydney Croatia 0. So let's cross now to Les Murray on the sideline.
Thank you, Michael. An excellent game, 0-0 draw, no goals, but a very good game. And with me are two guys, one from either camp, Manfred Schaefer, the coach of Sydney Olympic, and Ron Corrie, assistant coach at Sydney Croatia. By the way, two colleagues in the World Cup team of days gone by. Ron, to you first. No, neither team could break down the defence in the second half. It seemed to peter out at the end, and it was just a sign of frustration everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think both sides had their chances. Like we had one cleared off the line down there when the keeper was beaten. We had the penalty and missed the penalty, and there was probably a couple of others that maybe have gone either way, but in the end a good result. But I think football was the real winner, and that's the most important thing.
Manfred, you must have been a little bit concerned when that penalty decision was made.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty though. Definitely right decision. But I think the game was a very high standard today. Possibly us dominating the first half and Sydney Croatia more the second half.
Right. Manfred, you've been your team's been putting in the goals in the last few weeks. If you take aside last week's cup game, even against Newcastle you scored 3, but not today.
No, but I think the way we performed, goals were there for the taking, and I think it was an excellent display by both teams.
Yeah. Okay, next week, Ron, I think you've got, Manfred, you've got Apia. What can you see from there?
2 points. No,
but you're not going to say how many goals this time?
No, well, you know what rally is like.
Yes, we do. Okay, Ron, you got Canberra next week.
Canberra, yeah, well, I hope for 2 points. Got to be 2 points for us next week.
Okay, well, as you can probably see, it's almost time for us to go. That's match of the day. Thanks very much, Ron. Thanks very much, Manfred. Before we go, let's have a look at the scores from the other grounds. Well, that's a story from around the other grounds in the NSL today, and of course you can see highlights of many of those games in tomorrow's review of the Olympic Airways Soccer League at 6 o'clock. More soccer in the rest of the week when we have direct by satellite from Europe, the UEFA Cup final on Wednesday morning and the Champions Cup final on on Thursday morning. And of course on Wednesday night, a repeat of World Cup, The Elusive Goal, a documentary looking back at the World Cup campaign of Australia in 1985. But from Pratten Park, this is Les Murray for Match of the Day. Good night.